Before they called us Africa, we had names. We were kingdoms. We were tribes. We were nations with identity, culture, language, and pride. The world did not discover us. We already existed, long before borders were drawn on maps. Our ancestors danced under the moonlight beside sacred fire. The drums spoke louder than words. Every beat carried history. Every song carried memory. Children learned courage from warriors. Women carried wisdom. Elders carried truth. And the land fed the people. We worshipped in our own ways. We called on our gods. We honored our ancestors. We lived with traditions that had survived for generations. Then the ships came. And the ships did not come because they loved us. They came because they saw value. Not value in our humanity, but value in our bodies, our land, our gold, our labor, our future. They looked at strong black men and saw profit. They looked at mothers and saw property. They looked at children and saw chains waiting to happen. Villages were burned. Families were separated overnight. Some were taken while sleeping. Some were betrayed by neighboring kingdoms, manipulated by greed and fear. And millions were forced toward the coast, walking for days with iron around their necks. Imagine that. A mother watching her child disappear forever. A father unable to protect his family. A child crying in a language nobody on the ship cared to understand. Packed inside dark slave ships, human beings were treated worse than cargo. No names, no dignity, no freedom. Some died before reaching the other side. Some jumped into the ocean because death felt better than slavery. And those who survived arrived in lands where their identity was erased. Their names were changed. Their language was forbidden. Their spirituality was called evil. Their skin became a reason for punishment. And generation after generation was taught to forget where they came from. Think about that deeply. A people disconnected from their roots, forced to abandon their culture to survive, forced to pray to a new god while being whipped by men who claimed morality, forced to build nations they would never own. And while Africa was bleeding, its resources were being stolen. Gold, diamonds, rubber, oil, human labor. The wealth of empires was built from the suffering of African people. And even after slavery officially ended, the damage did not end. Colonialism came next. New borders were drawn by outsiders. Communities were divided. Conflicts were created. Resources kept leaving the continent while poverty remained. And today, many Africans still struggle with the scars left behind. Not because Africa lacked greatness, but because greatness was interrupted. But here is the truth they could never fully destroy. The drum still lives. The culture still lives. The bloodline still lives. Our ancestors survived the unimaginable so that we could stand here today.